The main question that I think we were trying to figure out is how do you really get at a good measure of what a vice presidential home state advantage is? The number of points a vice presidential candidate adds in their home state, in addition to anything they might add based on their experience or their popularity in general.
What does this mean for 2016? I mean, does this matter, and should it shape who's chosen?
Selecting someone from a swing state might matter, might help. One is, it might help you win that one state you need to actually win the presidency. You know, if you pick someone from Virginia or Ohio, maybe that will make the difference.
Right.
The traditional literature sort of used a measurement that actually sort of is interesting. It relies on a historical comparison between that actual state, how that state did over time, as well as on a national level, and combined all that into a formula that came up with a prediction and gave, you know, some measurement of what the home state advantage for each candidate is.
Right. The problem was that some of the results just made very little sense. And most specifically, the case of Lyndon Johnson as John F. Kennedy's running mate in 1960. Johnson, from Texas, had a great career prior to being selected, a majority leader of the Democratic Party in the Senate, is selected by Kennedy specifically to help him win in the South, to help him win Texas, and according to this measurement, had a minus 15-point home state advantage.
So it was clear that we had a problem. How do we solve it? And we ended up using something called synthetic controls.
Synthetic controls are a new statistical technique. The basic idea of a synthetic control method is that we want to create a fake version of each treated case. So take Texas in 1960. We want to create a fake Texas that really closely matches the trends in Texas voting patterns prior to 1960. So we take a set of states, all the states that didn't have a vice presidential candidate, and we select states and weight them that combined most closely match Texas. The idea being, if a set of states match Texas over that early, that pre-1960 period, they should also match it in 1960 if Johnson hadn't been selected as a vice presidential candidate. So they provide an estimate of what Texas would have looked like if Johnson hadn't been from Texas.
Right. What we really want to compare is Texas in 1960 to Texas in 1960 with Johnson on the ticket.
So one state where Johnson is on the ticket and is from Texas, and then a sort of a different version where Johnson is on the ticket with all his experience, but he's not from Texas.
Right, a different state of the world.
We look at 53 cases of vice presidential candidates from 1884 to 2012, and then we average all their effect. What did we actually find?
So 2.67 percentage points difference on average. The average vice presidential candidate adds close to 3 points to their ticket in their home state, which is actually a considerable effect.